What's up, people? Joe Winko here, your favorite Hawaiian guy, and here's my next episode of Joe Winko Talk. So, for those of you who've been following my videos lately, you would know that some pretty crazy stuff was going on with me yesterday with my temperature and everything. I posted a video about that. Well, it was actually earlier tonight, but by the time you guys watch this video, because it's going to take me a while to edit this video, it will be yesterday. Just wanted to let you know that I'm doing okay now. Tomorrow morning, I'm still going to be going over to get tested for coronavirus because my temperature was over 100 and everything. But I checked it again like an hour or so ago, and it's gone down to 99, so just wanted to give you guys an update on that, and I'll let you know how I'm doing with all that and everything, so just wanted to say that first. So, this is going to be a very personal episode of Joe Winko Talk. Nothing really morbid or gloomy, but it is going to be quite a bit negative, honestly. And it's definitely going to be X-rated, so if you're under 18, please don't watch this video at all, because I'm going to be talking about some stuff in my personal life, my love life, or another failure in my love life, I guess you can call it. And it's also going to be a long video too, so get the popcorn ready. So first, I just want to clarify this to everyone. In case you guys don't know, I'm a single gay guy living in Florida, and I've been looking for a lover or partner for a very long time. And I just want to remind all of you that it actually doesn't matter to me at all what a guy looks like or what race or ethnicity he is or what color he is. Because the truth is, I honestly love all men. Doesn't matter what color they are, black, white, Asian, Arab, Latino, or anything else. Really, it's what's on the inside that counts to me, so just wanted to make that clear to all of you. However, my sexuality is actually very strange. I only like men, but I just don't like penis or sperm at all, honestly. And speaking of that, as I said earlier, I've been looking for a lover or partner for a very long time, and because of my strange sexuality, I somehow got into the whole BDSM stuff on some level. Don't get me wrong, I'm not really like deep into it like a lot of people are, but I kind of am into it somewhat. And I'm going to explain to you guys really quick how I did, because it actually has a lot to do with this specific topic that I'm going to be explaining in this video. So, how I got into the whole BDSM stuff, I was typing on a bunch of web forms that I was a gay guy who was looking for a lover or partner, but someone who's okay with the fact that I don't suck cock at all and never want to suck cock at all, and that I can't take it up the ass at all. And then everyone on the web forums kept telling me, oh, well, you need to find yourself a submissive guy who just likes sucking cock and who doesn't care that you don't want to do anything to his cock at all. You should sign up for FetLife.com. And I actually did sign up for FetLife.com back in year 2015, and I listed myself as a dominant master, because that's definitely what I am. I'm not really anything else. And I've been posting on there ever since, and I honestly have not had any luck on FetLife.com to this day, honestly, and it's kind of sad. Then fast forward to year 2017, and through talking to someone else on FetLife, I discovered this other BDSM dating site called Caller Space, and that was actually another site that I never had any luck on at all. Literally everyone on the site Caller Space, whenever I send them a message, they almost never reply at all. I see that a lot of people see my profile and look at my profile, but most of them just blow me off and ignore me, and I never really had any luck on Caller Space either. Not to mention that the whole messaging system for the site Caller Space has like a lot of glitches and a lot of errors in it, and it's not a fun site to use, honestly. Which brings me to my next point. In case you guys haven't noticed, I actually am part black myself. I know I always start every single one of my YouTube videos with "What's up, people? Joe Winko here, your favorite Hawaiian guy." But the truth is, I'm only part Hawaiian. In addition to that, I'm also mixed with Haitian and Egyptian too, which are also considered black ethnicities because they're both from Africa, technically. The Haitians are too. Therefore, that means I'm part black also. And according to the USA's one drop law, if you're part black, you're technically all black. So, yeah, a lot of people throw that in my face too. Also, back in high school, my high school classmates used to bully me a lot about being black. That wasn't the only thing they bullied me about, but they bullied me about other stuff too. But they did bully me a lot about being black, because that was the one thing that set me apart from all of them. So while I was on FetLife, I started seeing groups on FetLife with these submissive men who were looking to be with dominant black guys, and I considered myself a dominant guy. And when I started seeing groups like that on FetLife, I just thought to myself, okay, I'm looking for a lover or partner, someone who's really loving, caring, compassionate, and who isn't judgmental at all, but who's very loyal too. And if he just so happens to be turned on by the fact that I'm also part black too, more power to it, I guess. So I was like, sure, why not? So I started posting on the groups on FetLife, and I was saying that I was a single black master looking for a lover and a partner. So this story begins in March of 2019. When I was on FetLife, I got in touch with this one submissive white guy who lived up in New York, but he couldn't be my lover and partner at all because apparently he was already with someone else, even though he was still posting on FetLife. I didn't get it. But I asked him if he knew of any other sites where I can find a submissive boyfriend who wants a black master, me. And that's when he told me about the site that I'm going to be talking about in this episode of Joe Winko Talk, Black Men's Reign, a site that I used to be on, and quite an interesting journey it was. A bit tragic, but interesting nonetheless. As I mentioned earlier, this definitely was not a positive experience for me at all, but I did think it was interesting enough to talk about in an episode of Joe Winko Talk for those of you who like knowing what goes on in my personal life and my quest to find love, and lack of better terms to explain it. So I first signed up for Black Men's Reign on March 16th, 2019, and the site kind of reminds me of Facebook, the whole layout of it. You post stuff on there, people can see it, people can message you. You can also post blogs on there, and there's also discussion forums too, but I never really spent much time in the discussion forums at all. I mainly would just post on the site. So I started posting there, and basically how it worked is every day I would post a picture of myself there, and I'd always remind everyone over and over again that I was a dominant black master living in Florida, and that I was looking for a submissive guy to be my lover and partner. And it pretty much got really routine, honestly. I always tried posting like a new picture of myself every single day with the hopes that someone would see it and someone would want to get in contact with me and eventually meet me and become my lover and partner. That was the whole point, honestly. I never quite really made any friends on the site, Black Men's Reign, honestly. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were nice guys who I have talked to on that site, but I guess because of my autism, I don't really know how to make friends that well, or keep friends that well, or keep friends for very long, as I should say. And this isn't just for the site Black Men's Reign. This is for every site that I ever been on, every dating site that I ever been on. It's just that over time, people get bored with talking to me after a while, and people get bored with keeping in touch with me after a while. And the sad thing is, what they eventually end up doing is they eventually end up forgetting about me and moving on. And it's really sad because that almost happens literally all the time. I don't let it get to me though, because I always try to tell myself when one door closes, another one opens. Another weird analogy that my autism mind came up with, I guess. But yeah. Actually, I heard that in a Katy Perry song, but we're getting off topic. So that's basically what I was doing on Black Men's Reign the whole entire time. I was sharing pictures of myself, nothing X-rated, but I was sharing a lot of shirtless pictures of myself, wearing my signature red pointy bandana, as I do in all my selfies that I post online, since that's my trademark, and as I do in all dating sites that I signed up for, since I wanted to find a lover or partner who was actually impressed by my YouTube videos as well. It's a major part of my life, in case you haven't noticed. I actually did try talking to a few guys on that site, but it was really nothing but small talk, really. Just small talk that never went anywhere. And it was honestly kind of sad, really. Now, somewhere along the line in May or June of 2019, I got in touch with this one Latino guy from Texas. He was on the site Black Men's Reign, and he said that he was like looking for a black master and everything. And me and him got in touch with each other, and he told me that I should type up a master-slave contract. And basically what a master-slave contract is it's basically like a listing of everything I want from my slave and everything I expect from my slave. And by slave, I really mean like my lover and partner. That's what they refer to it as on that site. I honestly prefer the term submissive lover instead of slave, because like slave sounds like really negative in my opinion. And he told me that I should type up a master-slave contract, and it really almost seemed like it was his like fetish or turn on. Well, it definitely was his fetish or turn on, and I was definitely able to sense that, and I was like, well, okay, I'll type one up. So I typed one up of everything I wanted in a relationship and everything, or from a slave, as they like to call it on Black Men's Reign or FetLife or any other of those BDSM sites. I'll actually have a link to it in the pinned comments in case you guys want to read what I typed up. Now, with the master-slave contract, as much as I hate to admit this, there's actually no legal binding in that contract at all. It's not really valid at all. And another thing is, by law in the USA, I'm not sure about any other countries, but by law in the USA, any contract that involves sex in it cannot be honored at all in real life legally, and thank God. Also, in the contract, it all seems like pretty strict, the way I worded it and the way I typed it and everything. But I only typed it that way so this one specific Latino guy who I was talking to online, who I was apparently trying to impress, would become my lover and partner, because that's ultimately the entire reason why I was on the site Black Men's Reign. But as with every single other guy I talked to on dating sites, he just seemed to be all talk and all fantasy and wasn't interested in anything real at all. So basically he just drifted away and I lost contact with them. And I was kind of sad, but I still have my master-slave contract typed up. It is pretty strict, but basically the only thing was I was looking for a submissive guy. I mean, don't even have to be submissive technically. Just a guy who was a total bottom, who would want to live in inland Florida, who likes to drive and go on road trips, and who was more of a loner like me, and who would want to spend lots of time with me a lot of the time. And that was basically everything, really. And who'd want to suck my cock a lot, hopefully. So, fast forward to August of year 2019, there I was, still on a ton of dating sites, including Black Men's Reign, but it seemed like I was using Black Men's Reign more than any other dating site I was on, and I was still single, and I am still single, And I was still without my submissive lover, or any lover really, as I am to this day. And I noticed how much time has passed since I've been on there, because I signed up in March of 2019, and it was August of 2019, and I still haven't found anyone. But as I said, Black Men's Reign wasn't really the only site I've been posting on, really. But compared to any other site that I was on at that time, that was the one that I was spending the most time on. Meanwhile, when I was looking at profiles on FetLife, I saw this other man's profile on FetLife. He was a submissive guy, but he was actually straight though. But he had on his profile that he was open to promoting a dominant female so she could find her lover or partner. And what I mean by that is I didn't have it screenshotted because he edited his profile and I couldn't find where he typed that. But he said that he was open to help promoting a dominant female so she could eventually find her lover or partner that she was looking for. And then that's where I got this idea from. So with my master slave contract, I always thought that if you showed it to every single guy on Earth, if this was really possible, but if you showed it to every single guy on Earth, I was 100% sure that I would at least find one guy who was okay with everything I typed in that contract and who was definitely up for it and who agreed with all of it and who I was ultimately a match for, if it was really possible to show it to every single guy in existence. So on the site Black Men's Reign, you were able to type blogs on that site too. So I typed up a blog called Help Promote Me so I can find my submissive lover, aka my Jack of Hearts, as I preferred to call him. And the reason why I refer to my submissive lover as a Jack of Hearts is basically because I always thought of the dating world, not just for me, but for everyone, as a luck of the draw situation, honestly. And this is definitely an analogy that my autism mind came up with. It's like trying to draw a specific card from a deck full of cards, and you're not always going to find the right card right away. Like, I'm gonna have to keep going through people and shuffling through people and talking to different people until I finally find the match that I'm looking for. Just like drawing a whole bunch of cards until you finally find the right card that you're looking for. As I explained, I wanted a man who was very loving and caring, which is how I got the hearts symbol, really. And I didn't want him to be the King of Hearts because I'm already the King of Hearts, so that wasn't going to work. I also didn't want him to be the Queen of Hearts either because, as I said earlier, I was looking for a guy, not a female. So I came up with the Jack of Hearts, which, from what I can see, looks enough like a guy. So, yeah, that's why I refer to my future submissive lover as a Jack of Hearts, honestly. I know that sounds a bit weird, but you can blame my autism mind for imagining all of that. Makes sense now? So basically, what I explained in the blog was that since so many submissive guys on this site, Black Men's Reign, claim that they love black men so much and that they worship black men so much, since they all claim that and apparently believe it, as far as I thought so, that they should be nice enough to help promote me and help get me out there and let everyone know that I'm looking for a submissive lover and share my contract with everyone, because it might end up leading me to actually finding my submissive lover. Which is honestly another reason why I'm posting this video, so you guys know, really. I hope I explained that right, and I hope that made sense to everyone. So I typed that all up as a blog on Black Men's Reign to help promote me, to help me find my submissive lover, because already at that time, I was starting to feel that people were getting tired of seeing my post on that site every day. Maybe it's my self-consciousness that made me feel that way, but apparently people were. And the thing is, if I would have found a lover or partner, that's when all my posts on Black Man's Reign or any other dating site would have all stopped, because I wouldn't need to post anymore on any dating site because I already have a lover and partner. However, soon after I posted that blog, I got a post on my profile from a man on that site who I have never talked to before. And this is where I encounter my first antagonist of this whole story, a black man who was one of the owners of that site, and his username was Daddy AJ. Daddy AJ is another black master on that site, and he's one of the people who runs that site too, and who actually owns it and everything. I honestly don't know that much about him. All I really know is that he's older than I am, like roughly in his 40s or 50s, and he lives in the state of Minnesota. I think he does, I don't really remember. I don't really know much about Daddy AJ because me and him never really talked at all, but I did look at some of his posts and I did see how he talks to some of the submissive white boys or any color boys who aren't black on that site, and he definitely isn't much of a loving and sensual master as I consider myself to be. He seems a bit more harsh and rude, but these men seem to get off on being talked to like that for some reason. That's the crazy thing with this whole BDSM lifestyle stuff. Like, when you're like a dominant master, they say that you're supposed to be like mean and rough and everything. I mean, to each their own. There's no specific rule book written on all of this, really. But I consider myself to be more of a loving and sensual and softcore master. That's how I describe myself. I don't call anyone a bitch or slap anyone around or anything like that. I mean, seriously. This was the message that he posted on my profile. Let me read it to you guys right now. 1 second. Okay, here it is. Here's what he typed on my profile. Reel it in, young man. 2 things. Here on my BMR, BMR is short for Black Men's Reign in case you're wondering, there are no Jack of Hearts, and I, and most other masters on here, do not want to hear about us helping you find something on here that doesn't exist. See my first point. And then, as I said earlier, this was a guy I never talked to before, so I just typed in, do I know you? And then I got a bit defensive there. I also typed in, what makes you think I'm going to listen to another negative person who's trying to discourage me? Because that's one thing that people always kind of try to do. Ever since I was a little kid, they always try to like discourage me and bring my hopes down, in lack of better terms, in case you guys are wondering. So what I actually ended up doing was, after I read that post and everything, I actually deleted it off my profile because I was like, okay, I don't need to respond to that. That's just some negative stuff, really. And then I just went along my business on that site and everything. But then Daddy AJ kicked me off that site, and that's when I was first kicked off of Black Man's Reign on August 8th of year 2019. And how did I feel about that? Well, at first I was actually really angry and upset and sad. I was like, what the hell? Why was I kicked off? I wasn't being mean to anyone, and I was just there trying to find a lover and a partner. That's all I wanted to find on the site. And I thought it was really unfair. And I told a bunch of other people about it because I talked to a lot of people online. And when something unfair happens to me, I'm usually the type of person who always speaks up about it and makes sure that everyone knows. I mean, if it wasn't for people like me, a site called Black Men's Reign would have never came to exist. I mean, come on. A lot of people told me not to worry about it and to forget about all of them, and that the people who run that site are just a bunch of losers. That's what people were telling me. But I was still really upset about it, honestly. I felt like another door had closed on me and that I was going to miss out on the rest of the new people who sign up for Black Man's Reign, because there's always new people signing up for that site over and over again. And I felt like because I was kicked off the site, that my chances of finding a lover or partner were slimmed down because of that. And I was angry, and I thought it was unfair that I was kicked off the site just because another black master who runs the site thought that I wasn't cool enough to be a master at all. Which is technically the whole reason why I was kicked off the site, even again, which I thought was really unfair and messed up. However, at that time, I was determined to get back on Black Man's Reign, so I kept signing up for the site over and over again. And how it works is you have to sign up for the site, put your email in and everything, type up your profile and upload your picture, and then they have to approve of it. You don't just get on the site right away, and you can't just create a new profile right away. The owner of the site has to approve of it first. Well, the owners of the site have to approve of it first. So fast forward to September 18th, 2019, Daddy AJ apparently had a change of heart and allowed me back on the site Black Man's Reign again. But that would be a tad bit short-lived, honestly, and I'm going to be getting back to that later. But at that time, I was really happy to be back on Black Man's Reign. I was happy about it, and I kept posting on the site and kept continuing my quest to find a lover or partner. And I kept making posts on that site over and over again, posting my pictures and also featuring the links to some of my YouTube videos as well. Basically sharing myself on that site so people could get to know me, with the hopes and with the intentions that it would eventually lead to me finding my submissive lover. So that's why I was posting so much on there. However, later on down the road, I started to encounter some conflicts on that site and some drama as well. And as much as I hate to admit this, some of it was a bit my fault, honestly, but it was still really stupid and really ridiculous, really. So, fast forward to January of 2020, I started talking to more men on that site, more of the submissive guys and everything, because that's basically all who I talked to on that site. And I did message one guy who lived in Atlanta, Georgia, who was looking for a dominant black master for a long-term relationship. That's what he was typing on his profile. Well, he didn't word it that way. He was typing that he was looking to be owned by a dominant black master. That's his words that he used. He was in his 40s, so I messaged him on there, and he said that he wasn't interested in me because I was too young for him. And the thing was, I was 24 years old at that time. I'm 24 years old right now, and I felt offended. I mean, yeah, if that would have been 10 years ago, I would have understood, but 24 years old is too young? What the hell? Honestly. I mean, seriously, I've been alive long enough to vote in 2 presidential elections, and I still have guys telling me that I'm too young to be their lover and partner. I think that's fucking stupid, honestly. Which actually brings me to another thing I want to clarify in this video. I honestly don't care how old my lover or partner is, just as long as he's 18 years old or older. But besides that, I don't really care at all. Yeah, I will admit I prefer someone older, someone in their 40s or 50s, but if a twink who's 19, 20, or 21 years old, or 18 years old, says, "Oh, Joe, I love your videos on YouTube, I love the stuff you post, I want to be your lover and partner," I would be like, "Oh, well, okay, sure, let's give this a shot." Like, I don't discriminate, and I wouldn't reject anyone because they're 18, 19, or 20. I mean, I really don't reject anyone, honestly. I mean, I'm always the one getting rejected, but whatever. So I was mad about that, but I didn't let it bother me too much. I kept posting more about myself on that site, trying to find a submissive lover who'd want to talk to me and hopefully become my lover and partner, as I was ultimately looking for, Which leads me to my next antagonist of this whole life story I'm explaining to you guys. Joey707, that's what his username was. He's a 30-year-old submissive white guy who was looking for a black master, and he lived in the state of Connecticut. And somehow me and him got in contact with each other, and we started talking to each other too. At first, we seemed to get along pretty good, and our conversations were going pretty nicely. He actually seemed really cool at first, and he told me that he lived up in Connecticut. And as you guys all know, I absolutely love the state of Connecticut, and I actually been there before last summer to New London, Connecticut, and I really been wanting to go back to Connecticut and visit. However, I don't know anyone up in Connecticut, but at least this time I thought I actually did, Joey707. So I was excited, and I told him that I really wanted to come back to Connecticut and visit, and he told me that he could invite me up to Connecticut in the summer to come visit him, and I was really excited for that because, as I explained earlier, I've been wanting to go back to Connecticut. However, first thing is, one red flag was thrown up at me right away for Joey707. Now, I just need to explain this really quick. Every day I take this medication called PrEP. You guys may know what it is, but for those of you who don't know what it is, PrEP is basically a medication that prevents people from contracting the HIV virus. Like, if you take it every day, like, it protects you from contracting HIV and everything. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't do hookups at all. I try my best not to do any hookups, and I never really do anal sex with anyone or intercourse with anyone until I know them very well, honestly. So, yeah, but the thing is, with PrEP, in order for it to be effective, you have to take it every single day, and you have to take it for 7 days first before it starts being completely effective. And as I explained earlier, it protects you from contracting HIV. So, getting back to Joey707, I was talking to him, and somehow I told him that I was on PrEP and everything, and he told me that he was actually allergic to PrEP. And I was like, okay, what does that have to do with me? And he says, oh, well, if me and you do anything together, if you fuck me or if I suck you off and you get your cum on me or something, I'm allergic to that and I would have a serious reaction to that. So he told me that I have to stop taking my PrEP for 30 days before I come to meet him, and that was a red flag right there. I was like, whoa, that's very weird. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure some people actually are allergic to PrEP, but I never heard of anyone being allergic to PrEP, and I just thought it was very strange that he wanted me to stop taking my PrEP for 30 days before I come to meet him, because the truth is, there's honestly some really sick people online who try to do some really sick stuff, and what I was imagining from that was that, I don't know, I mean, imagine someone telling you not to take a medication that prevents you, that keeps you safe from contracting HIV, and it's a person who wants you to meet up with them so you could have sex with them. I mean, try to think of some twisted stuff that might be going on there, some sinister motives behind that. And, yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I was really leery at that point, and, you know, in all honesty, at that point, I really should have stopped talking to him, really. But I really wanted to visit Connecticut, really wanted to go to Connecticut, and I was just like, okay, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I mean, basically what I would have done if we would have worked out and got along fine, I just would have used rubbers for everything. Even if he was sucking me off, I just would have wore a rubber, because, I don't know. Well, actually, we wouldn't even have had intercourse anyway, because I have to get to know a guy good before I do that. I never do that on the first meet, either. Another important thing that I should mention, me and Joey707 never talked on the phone at all, and that was another thing I noticed from all the other guys using Black Men's Reign. they were all too scared to talk on the phone with me. I was actually going to do an episode of Joe Winko Talk solely about this, but I always prefer to talk on the phone instead because messaging is too impersonal, because you're not hearing the person's voice. You're just reading messages, stuff that's typed out, and you're just reading text. You're not hearing the person's emotions, or you're not reading the person's emotions, and you're not hearing them talk to you and everything. And messages can be misunderstood and everything when you're just texting. So that's why I always prefer to call instead and actually hear the person's voice. But he never said yes to doing that at all. Even though I did ask him if he'd want to talk on the phone with me, he never wanted to talk on the phone with me at all. So that was another red flag that I should have paid more attention to, but it kind of flew over my head for some reason because I really wanted to visit Connecticut again. And in addition to that, I also didn't know what he looked like either, because his profile picture was just a picture of his ass. I'm not joking, like it was literally a picture of his ass. You saw that a lot on Black Men's Reign. I mean, it's a dating site for adult men who are looking for gay men, who are gay men. But he appeared to have like a really muscular body from his pictures. But to be completely honest with you, I'm honestly convinced that all his profiles on Black Men's Reign were fake, honestly. That's what my gut was telling me, because it was too many red flags going up for me. But at that time, I wasn't really thinking about it that much. But things soon started going downhill between me and Joey707. He asked me, what do I do for work? And I honestly hate it when people ask me that, because to me that's a very personal question, and I'm going to explain why. The thing is, I can't hold a job at all because of my type 1 diabetes and my autism and my ADHD. All those conditions combined affect me. I tried having a job before, but it didn't go so well. And I actually did 3 videos about what happened when I tried having a job. When I tried suicide in 2014, when I almost ran away to Arkansas forever and died, and my necrophiliac story. And in case you guys are wondering, I wasn't the one that was the necrophiliac. It was a guy who wanted to have sex with my dead body, but there was a whole build-up on what led to that and everything. I explained it all in my videos, and I'll have the link to all 3 of those videos in the pinned comments, so you guys could watch all of those when you have time to. And I know a lot of you guys are going to be saying, oh, well, Joe Winko, you want a relationship with a guy who will support you? And I'm like, what the hell do you mean, support me? For example, I get my food from the state. No one gets that for me. I get it from the state. Also, another thing, my health care, guess what? I get that from the state too. And my insulin and my medications that I take and everything else, I get those from the state. So don't go saying, oh, Joe, you're looking for someone to support you. No, I'm not. I get my food and my medication and my health care all from the state. So no person who is going to be in a relationship with me would be supporting me at all. Because another thing is, I never ask a guy for money at all. I never walk up to a guy and ask him, hey, can you give me some money? No way in hell have I ever done that before. So yeah, don't go saying that I'm looking for someone to support me. And it always gets me mad when people say that, honestly. But when Joey707 asked me, do you have a job? What job do you have? A question that I absolutely hate for people to ask me. I told him that I didn't want to answer that at all, and I told him that he could ask me anything else, just don't ask me that. And that's honestly what I usually say when guys on dating sites ask me that. I don't tell them that I can't hold a job because of my autism and ADHD until I talk to them more and get to know them. But Joey707 didn't want to talk on the phone with me at all, so I didn't feel like I got to know him at all either, because we were just typing back and forth to each other and it was too impersonal. However, me and Joey707 kept talking to each other, and he kept going back to that question over and over again and kept throwing it in my face over and over again. And I told him that I don't want to answer that. Do not ask me that. But he kept coming back to it over and over again, even when I told him that. And then I finally told him that I can't hold a job because of my autism, ADHD, and type 1 diabetes. And that last time I tried having a job, it was too stressful and overwhelming for me, which almost led to me committing suicide or being left down south in a state far away from home, or being at a creepy guy's house who wanted to have sex with my dead body. Again, I explained that all in the 3 YouTube videos linked in the pinned comments of this video. But that's basically what almost happened. So I told him, quit asking me that, now you know. And in all honesty, I really never like admitting that stuff at all, because people tend to get very judgmental when I tell them that and everything. And I told them to not bring up the whole job thing again. That was all in January of 2020. Fast forward to February of 2020, I messaged Joey707 again, and we were talking to each other, and he asked me a question that if I had a job, let me double check exactly what he asked me. So here's what I said to him, and here's what he said to me that day. I messaged him saying, hey, I thought of you again. I hope you're doing good. I'm excited to talk to you again. Hearts, XOXOXO. I'm as I said, I'm more of a loving and sensual dom, so yeah, that's how I talk to guys, really. And then he says, howdy, sure Joe, thought of you all night. Yeah, right. I feel so bad about the prep crap, but I am sure if we both decide to try, we can make it work in time, sir. And then I typed in, yeah, we can. How many days before I stop taking prep before I should come meet you? I was still very leery on that, but nothing was written in stone yet. I was going to use rubbers. That's what I was planning the whole entire time. And he said, sir, double checking with my doctor, but as I recall, he told me 21 days are needed to fully discharge it from your body. But we'll call today, sir. Curious, sir, if you could, what would you like to do work-wise? And then I typed in, why do you keep asking me that? I thought I told you I don't want to answer that. Sorry if I was being a bit rude, but that's just personal, which is what I explained to him earlier. Earlier when me and him were talking to each other, we were talking on the chat feature of this site, and the chat messages, those don't get saved at all, so I forgot to screenshot all of those. But I did tell him that on the chat feature of the site earlier. And then he typed back to me, sir, you already told me you don't work. Sorry if I want to know just more about what you might like in your life. Good luck to you. And then when he typed good luck to me, I thought he was like ditching me and blowing me off. And I got upset about that because like he was at that time the only guy from that site who actually seemed interested in me at all. Plus, I was excited to visit him in Connecticut this summer. That's when it would have been. And I wanted to go back to Connecticut, and I was excited to meet him and was hoping that he would eventually become my submissive lover. But when he typed good luck to you, I thought that when he typed that he was ditching me and didn't want to talk to me anymore, so I was upset about that. So I typed back, good luck, don't you still want to talk? And yeah, I forgot I already answered that. Just don't ask me questions like that again, please. I still want to talk to you. You aren't just going to ditch me because of that, are you? And then he types in, not ditching you at all, good sir. I ask because you don't seem to be the type of man to just live off your lover and boy. And I already explained that earlier. Get my meds from the state, get my food from the state, so I wouldn't be living off my lover and boy, would I? That's why I asked you the way I did. Yeah, so after that, we kept talking to each other, and I just told him not to bring up the job stuff at all because it upsets me when people bring that up to me at all. That's very personal considering everything I have gone through with that and everything and all the issues I was having from it, and clearly he understood that he shouldn't bring that up to me at all and that it was disrespectful. However, later that month in February of 2020, he eventually did bring it up again. So I messaged him again, and here's what he typed. What a nice surprise to hear from you again. How are things going for you? And I typed back, I'm doing all right. I miss talking to you. How have you been? And then he said, you are very sweet. Thank you. Very busy, dealing with growers and distributors that cannot seem to get their act together. How are you doing? How's the job hunt going? And when he asked me that, that triggered me and I got angry. Also, another thing, I believe at this time my blood sugar was a bit off because when my blood sugar runs high, I tend to get moody and everything. And at that time, I definitely think it was high, which is why I kind of snapped on him a bit. And here's the messages I sent him. Why do you keep asking me about that? Can you not ask me about that, dude? That's not funny. I already told you I can't hold a job at all because of my autism and ADHD. Therefore, I am not looking for one. Are you just trying to make me angry? And then I typed in all caps, and yeah, my blood sugar definitely was high when this was all going on. Don't ever ask me any fucking questions about that again. Understood? Sorry to snap on you, but I messaged you because I think you're cool and I wanted to talk to you. But you should know by now that I get very upset when people talk about that and ask me about that. I don't know if you think it's funny, but it is not funny, so don't ever ask me any questions like that again. Watch all 3 of these videos, maybe then you'll understand. And then I sent him the links to those videos, the ones when I tried suicide in 2014, when I almost ran away to Arkansas forever, and the necrophiliac story. And then I typed in, I really don't like to snap on people, but you seriously need to quit asking me stuff like that. It's absolutely disrespectful of you two. Because seriously, by now he should have learned by then. And the thing was, we were just typing and messaging each other back and forth. We weren't talking on the phone with each other, so I couldn't read his emotions at all. I didn't know if he was just trolling with me or just fucking with me, because that's what a lot of idiots do on dating sites even. And then he typed in, right, never again, bye. And then I got upset because I thought he wasn't going to talk to me anymore. And then I typed in, bye. That doesn't mean I don't want to talk to you again. Just don't ask me questions about that again. There's a lot of other stuff that we can talk about, dude. What if I kept talking about something you didn't like talking about? I still want to talk to you, unless you changed your mind on me. And then he replied, happy to chat, but honestly no longer comfortable for a visit. Not used to a man with such a temper. Sorry, but just being honest with you. And that pissed me off, honestly, because how the fuck does he know what my temper is? We weren't talking on the phone with each other. He wasn't able to tell how angry I was getting. And really, if we had been talking on the phone with each other, I wouldn't have never snapped like that. I'm pretty sure that he would have got the point if he was talking on the phone with me, because when I'm talking on the phone with someone, unless you say something to intentionally piss me off, I can usually tell when someone's intentionally trying to make me angry, which is what I was sensing from Mr. Joey 707 from Connecticut. And it struck a nerve, and I was already mad enough because I wasn't able to find a lover and partner at all. So, rightfully so, in my opinion, I kind of took it out on him. And don't get me wrong, if I actually did find a lover or partner and a guy who was sweet enough to be with me and everything, there's no way in hell I would talk to him like this. And if me and Joey if me and Joey 707 would have been talking on the phone with each other, I don't think I would have been able to say all of this to him, because I'm not really a mean person, honestly, but when it's all impersonal and done with typing and texting, I can get pretty vicious, and especially when I'm in a bad mood, upset that I can't find a lover and partner at all, upset that this guy isn't respecting me at all, I tend to snap. So this is what I said, and I'm not ashamed of this. I mean, like, I am ashamed that I let it get me this angry, but I'm gonna show it to you guys anyway, since the whole point of all my YouTube videos is for you guys to get to know me, and I want to show all sides of me, even the not very nice sides of me. And I didn't type anything illegal, but it was kind of rude and really mean, as it was meant to be. So I got really mad at him, and I just kind of went off on him from there. I don't want to read everything I typed to him in this video. However, I did type to him that I hope he contracts coronavirus and dies from it. And it's a bit ironic now that my temperature was high and that I have to get tested for coronavirus tomorrow. But he pissed me off. And I was really angry. And you guys may be saying, oh, well, Joe, you had a high temperature, so I think karma came back for you. I don't think that's a fair way that karma works. I mean, well, as I said earlier, karma doesn't really always work in my favor, but it actually has kind of been working in my favor kind of lately, but that's a whole nother story that I'll explain later. But I was really mad at him because of that, and yeah, I went off on him, snapped on him, and I told him that I hope he gets coronavirus and dies. And that was basically my way of expressing to him that I was really angry and really disgusted with him. Well, as it turns out, it happens that the user on Black Man's Reign, Joey707, is basically the lapdog for the next antagonist who I will be introducing in this story, Ebony King 08. Now, for those of you guys who want to know, Ebony King 08, I don't really know much about him either, but all I know is that he's another Black Master on Black Man's Reign. He basically like owns the whole site, and he's basically like one of the moderators or whatever you want to call him. And he's not the same age as me. He's like in his 60s or something, and he lives in West Virginia, another place that I done a YouTube video at, and I'll have a link to that in the pinned comments. So Joey707 basically snitched on me to Ebony King 08 that I snapped on him and told him that I hope he gets coronavirus and dies. And here's what Ebony King 08 said to me after that. It's been brought to my attention that you're making almost threats to subs on here, wishing that they caught that terrible sickness that kills people, etc., and that you hope he died. You can't be doing that on here. Okay, first of all, I only sent it to one guy, Joey707. I wasn't sending it to a whole bunch of guys on that site. But then I replied back and I typed in, fair enough, but he was being really rude to me first. That didn't just come out of nowhere. And it absolutely didn't just come out of nowhere. I don't just snap on people for no reason. And then he typed in, how was he rude to you? And at that point, it was already hard enough to explain that he kept throwing in my face that I can't hold a job at all, kept asking me about the whole job thing, even though I told him not to, and even though he was clearly aware of the fact that it angered me when he asked me that, and he was being really disrespectful and everything, and that's why I was so mad and everything. What I really should have done was I should have just sent him the screenshots of the conversations of me and Joey707, but for some reason I just tried explaining it instead, and it came out to be a really long message and everything. But that's what I tried telling him. And then, but obviously, all of that flew right over Ebony King 08's head. And then he said, regardless of that, you can't go around wishing him or anyone else would catch that and die from it. Some people take that as a threat. What's wrong with asking you if you have a job? They ask me that all the time. And then I told him, I already explained that to you, why it's wrong for him to ask me that. Because it upset me and it made me angry. And he shouldn't be saying stuff that upsets me and makes me angry. And then after I told him that, he basically just like, he didn't reply, really. I mean, he just like, yeah, it was just that. And I highly doubt he said anything to Joey707. But I just thought that was a bit unfair how he handled that. Didn't give a fuck that Joey707 was disrespecting me. He basically just said, oh, you can't do that here. That's basically exactly what he said, even though Joey707 was the one who threw the first punch. And I thought that was really unfair. And it also kind of made me mad how he said, I know, but regardless, you can't do that here. Because it was like, oh, fuck what happened to you. You can't do that here. Wow, I felt like literally thrown under the bus. And I thought it was unfair. And my overall thoughts on that was, he completely sided with Joey707. He didn't care that Joey707 was the one who threw the first punch. But when I think about it, Ebony King 08, he's a dominant black man. I am also a dominant black man who's a total top. Joey 707 is a submissive bottom. So, whose side is Ebony King 08 gonna take? Obviously, Joey 707. But the thing is, the site's called Black Men's Reign. It's supposed to be a place where black men are respected and who are, like, worshipped and everything, and I'm going to be getting back to that later. Yet, it seems more like the sites cater to the white men who fetish black men and just see us as objects and everything. Because trust me, that was definitely going on the site. Really. I saw that a lot. It just seems like the submissive guys on that site just had fetishes for black men and everything and weren't even thinking of us as real people, just as sex objects, really. And that kind of got me angry. Thinking about it now, it doesn't really bother me that much now, but when that actually happened back in February of 2020, I felt really angry and I felt like it was really unfair and I felt really wronged and I felt like I was thrown under the bus. And I can't say that I'm not used to that feeling, but still, it made me mad. So I posted on that site that I was going to be taking a break from Black Man's Reign for a while, and then after that I stopped using the site for a couple weeks, and yeah. But eventually, fast forward to March of the year 2020, I decided to go back on Black Man's Reign. And another thing that I've been noticing on that site from the user Joey707 is that after that, he literally started kissing Ebony King 08's ass the whole entire time, typing how much of an awesome master Ebony King 08 is. And I kind of figured that he was just typing all that in just to get on my nerves and everything, because Ebony King 08 took his side and not mine. And it was really getting annoying reading all that at first, but then I just started to think that it was absolutely pathetic, really. And I started to not care so much anymore. However, I forgot to screenshot this conversation, but I eventually apologized to Joey707, and I said that I was sorry for hoping that he gets the coronavirus and dies. And then he just typed back to me, "Oh, it's okay, you were probably just having a bad day." And then I was like, wait a second, no I wasn't. I was angry because you kept throwing the job thing in my face over and over again. I wasn't just having a bad day, you made me angry. But he didn't apologize for that at all, honestly, so whatever. I forgot to mention this in the video, but I would actually later retract my apology to Joey707. Later on, he ended up sending me another message when he started to notice that I kept making posts on the site, and when it was quite clear that no one was interested in me on the site. Here's what he had to say to me. He first messaged me and said, "Hi sir, do you trust me?" And I was like, "What the fuck do you mean by that?" And then he was like, "Would you trust me if I shared something with?" And I was like, "What do you want to tell me? Are you saying you want to call me?" Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I was actually posting on the site that I was sad and I was feeling down and I was looking for someone to talk to because all this coronavirus lockdown stuff was starting to get to me. But he came back with this, unsurprisingly. "No, I don't wish to call you. You and I both know we aren't a good match, but I do want to share something with you." Something unimportant. "I am saying these things to you because I think you could be a very loving and protective master for someone. Shall I go on?" Actually, I already am a very loving and protective master, but just one that you're never gonna have at all, but whatever. I replied back with saying, "Well, actually, dude, we could have actually been a really good match, but you kept throwing the job thing in my face over and over again, even though I told you not to, and you were being rude and disrespectful to me. But that was all your fault, not mine." Which it absolutely was, but it kind of was my fault because I kept talking to him, but whatever. And then I replied, but what did you want to tell me? And then obviously, he comes back with saying, I really am sorry you saw it that way, and I apologize for wasting your time, sir. Good luck. And then I replied back, you're not forgiven. By the way, I'm 100% sure your pictures are fake, so don't ever message me again. And I told him I also take back my apology from earlier. Rightfully so, and I'm very, very, very glad I got the chance to do that, because I certainly do take it back. I honestly think Joey707, well, he knew that I had autism. I'm pretty sure everyone on that site knows that I have autism if they've been paying attention to my YouTube videos, because I always explain it all the time. But I directly told him that I have autism. I guess he saw that as a weakness and he was just trying to pick with me and get under my skin. That's why he messaged me saying, oh, do you trust me? I want to tell you something. I want to tell you something. Because he was trying to get me curious on what he had to tell me. But I'm smart enough to see right past that, and I'm 100% certain he actually had nothing to tell me at all. So, yeah, he was just trying to get me angry. And, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, as much as I hate to admit this, it actually kind of worked. But nowadays I find it funny, so counts as something. Another thing I noticed on the site Black Man's Reign is that they have the most popular members. Like, the people on the site who have the most amount of friends, they get featured on the site all the time, and when you first sign into the homepage, you see them on the site right away because they have the most amount of friends. So basically what I did is I started adding more friends and started talking to all of them and asking them to accept my friend request. At that time, there were roughly only like 3,000 something members on that site. So I paged through the whole entire site and started sending out friend requests, and it didn't really take very long. I didn't do it all in one day. It was all done over the course of a few days. And I started adding a whole bunch of members and asking them to accept my friend request. And eventually, I became one of the top 4 members on Black Men's Reign. And let me show you right here. There I am, right there. Well, actually, one of the top 3 most popular members on that site. And I was really excited about that because I thought being one of the top 4 members on that site and having everyone see me as one of the top 4 members on that site would help me get more attention and would increase my chances of finding a lover and partner on that site. But it obviously didn't help. Look where I'm at now. But it definitely was worth a shot, and it definitely is something interesting to talk about in this video at least. Fast forward to April of 2020, where we're at now, and this coronavirus stuff that we all been seeing on the news, it started to get to me, and I started to get depressed. And I kept posting on there even more often because I was looking for someone to talk to. What I really should have done was I should have just done a gaming live stream for YouTube. That's usually what I try to do whenever I get depressed. But I was just getting really sad because a lot of guys were sharing pictures of themselves on that site, like pictures of them together and everything, and like there was a lot of porn shared on that site, like a lot of white guys and black guys doing stuff together, a lot of interracial porn that they were all sharing because it was their fetish and everything. And this may sound a bit pathetic, but that was basically like throwing in my face that I'm all alone and that I didn't have anyone. And I felt really sad about that, really. Especially with all this coronavirus stuff going on. I mean, if it wasn't for this coronavirus stuff, that wouldn't have bothered me so much. But with all this coronavirus stuff going on, it basically, like, and on top of that, like, the fact that I'm still alone, don't have a lover and partner, and seeing a lot of porn being shared on that site, and it's basically throwing it in my face that I'm still alone, it made me feel like really sad and everything. So I'm not afraid to admit it. I got kind of desperate, and I kept posting on that site over and over again, looking for someone to talk to and looking for a lover and partner. And it's even more sad because I started seeing on there like a bunch of the submissive white guys. They were typing in that they worship black men and that they love black men and that they do anything for black men. Even though I was already smart enough to know that that wasn't true at all, but it still made me sad that they were like being dishonest like that and lying like that. Because those same guys who were typing in that they love black men and do anything for black men, when I tried messaging them, when I tried inboxing them, me myself, a black man myself, I mean, here's another picture of me. That's me up in New Jersey. Looks like a black guy to me. And here's another picture of me. That's me in Virginia after being on Virginia Beach. That definitely looks like a black guy to me. Whenever I would message them, a lot of guys on that site, they would completely ignore my messages and blow me off, really. Or just send me one-worded replies and like make it very clear that they didn't want to talk to me at all. And it was really upsetting. I thought it was really stupid that they were typing in that they loved and worshipped black men so much. Yet when I, a black man myself, would go and message them, they would blow me off and disrespect me, and their true colors would come out right away. And leave it to me to bring out a person's true colors. That's one thing I'm pretty good at, honestly. Which actually led me to posting this on Black Men's Reign. This wasn't anything that I typed up, but this was a message that I saw typed on Reddit and everything. Please talk to black guys like human beings. I can't count the amount of guys that have started speaking to me like I'm the BBC. Oh, yeah, in case you guys want to know what BBC stands for, it means Big Black Cock. That's what that acronym stands for. Thug gangsta type and the porn that they jack off to, only to realize very quickly that that's not the case, be disappointed and act accordingly, not responding, no second date, etc. Please just realize that black men, like white men or anyone else, are a diverse group of people with all sorts of different looks, personalities, interests, etc. Give us a chance to prove ourselves as individuals. And when I read that on Reddit, I related to it so much because it's honestly absolutely true. It seems like everyone on Black Men's Reign, they were like the guys who were looking for black men, they were really stuck up and they expected you to be like a thug gangster type, and as you guys know, that's definitely not me at all, really. I was more of a loving and sensual master, and it reminded me of high school, really. In high school, like normal-minded kids, they try to fit in with the popular kids, like try to dress like them, act like them and everything, so they can fit in with the popular kids. Well, to be completely honest with you, I was never like that in high school. What I actually tried to do instead, back when I was in high school, was to be appreciated for my own uniqueness, and try to imagine how well that worked out for me. Wow. And, you know, that was the same thing I was doing on Black Men's Reign, too. That's the thing. For example, here's one message I got from a guy who I tried talking to on Black Men's Reign. A guy who claimed to love black men and wanting to be in a relationship with a black guy. And here's how he reacted when a black guy actually messaged him, me. So, this is what I sent to him. I typed in, hey, what's up? That's how I start a conversation with anyone. I can't think of a better way to start a conversation, and yeah, whatever. He just typed in, Joe, leave me alone, and then I replied, why? Have we talked before? Because I didn't remember talking to him before. And I don't think we talked before. I think he was just some rude person who didn't want to talk to me at all, and he was disrespectful. Usually I wouldn't let that bother me so much, but when you keep running into people like that and you start running out of options, it eventually gets to you, which is kind of what led me to what ultimately got me kicked off of Black Men's Reign. So, as I was saying, none of the submissive white guys wanted to talk to me on Black Man's Reign at all. And I was just like, okay, whatever. You guys don't want to talk to me at all. You guys are rejecting me. You guys are ignoring my messages. You guys are being rude. Guess what? I don't care because I don't have to talk to you at all. So then I got this bright idea. I thought, well, there's a lot of African American guys on this site. Why don't I just try talking to them instead? Because, as I said earlier, I love all men of all different colors. Doesn't matter what race or ethnicity they are. But one thing that I want to make really clear, it wasn't like I was seeing them as a second option for me at all. I mean, in lack of better terms, it wasn't like I was thinking, oh, I can't find a white boyfriend at all, so now I have to find a black boyfriend now. No, it wasn't like that at all. It was really that I was open to being with any color man, honestly. Like, doesn't matter if he's black or white. Even when I first signed up for that site. Like, if I would have signed up for Black Men's Reign, like, think way back to March of 2019 when I first signed up for that site and when I first started posting pictures of myself on that site and everything. If another black guy, like, would have messaged me right away before anyone else, and or any time really that I was on that site, and would have told me, oh, hey, Joe Winko, I see all your posts on Black Men's Reign. I think you're really cool. I really want to meet you. I know that you're a black master, and I'm a black master too, and I know you're a total top, but I can be your power bottom. You don't have to touch my cock at all or do anything with my cock, because I know you don't like doing anything with any guy's cock, but I have to ride your cock whenever I want to, and I get to suck your cock whenever you want to. Would you be okay with that? In all honesty, that would be really hot, honestly. And if a guy, and if any color guy would have messaged me saying that, but if another black master on Black Men's Reign would have sent me a message like that on that site and everything, and telling me that he wants to be my power bottom, I definitely would not be opposed to that at all. I would still be his lover and partner and everything, really, if we hit it off good and if we got along good. And for those of you guys who are wondering what the word power bottom means, this is what I shared on Black Men's Reign, and this is what got me kicked off the site of Black Men's Reign. Here's what it says. Okay, a power bottom. According to Urban Dictionary, it's a gay male term. A dominant bottom. While a bottom is usually submissive to his partner, a power bottom enjoys maintaining control over the top and or the penetration, the normally dominant role in gay male sex. Power bottoms supposedly have skilled tongues. They give the best blowjobs, fellatio, and rim jobs in anilingus. Okay, so yeah, that's what the definition for the word power bottom is on Urban Dictionary. And then I circled it and I added in, for all my fellow sexy black daddies out there, my inbox is open to all of you. Heart, smiley face, hashtag Joe Winko. And that's what I shared on Black Men's Reign, because I wanted the black guys on that site to know that it wasn't just that I was looking for a white guy. I was open to talking to all guys, really. And it didn't really, like, matter to me if the guy was black or white, because I would have loved talking to him anyway, because I don't fall in love with the color of a guy's skin. I like him for what's on the inside, really, and I like him for how sweet and how loyal and how caring and compassionate he is, regardless of whether he's black or white. I mean, seriously. I mean, it doesn't matter to me what a guy looks like, and that's what makes this even more sadder, really, but that I don't care what a guy looks like, that I like what's on the inside, because, you know, looks really aren't anything to me, honestly. I just need someone who's loving, caring, compassionate, and everything, and this is the way I get treated. Well, let's continue. Now, when I shared that on Black Men's Reign, what I was thinking was I really thought that most people would just, like, ignore it and not talk to me at all, like all my other posts on Black Men's Reign. But apparently, I forgot to screenshot this, but Daddy AJ and Ebony King 08 commented on that post, and Daddy AJ said, "Oh no, you got to get off this site. That's not allowed on here." And a bunch of other of his submissive lapdogs liked his comment. And here's what he typed. Let me read you the whole messages between me and him. Okay, here they are. With your late power bottom post, I'm afraid I need to ask you to leave BMR. No black submissives are allowed on here. I'm hoping you'll leave on your own. Okay, another thing I need to clarify is just because a guy is a bottom and just because a guy is doing the cocksucking, that does not mean that he's submissive, honestly. I mean, because when you're sucking a guy off, you actually have like a lot of control over him. And yeah, I mean, getting my cock sucked is my favorite thing, and that's honestly what I feel when a guy is like sucking me off, that he has like lots of control over me and everything, and that's what gets my blood flowing about it, really. And I was thinking that there might be a black master on that site who also gets off on that, like sucking a guy off and having control over him. And you know, another thing, since everyone on that site is talking about how black men are the superior race and everything, and don't get me wrong, I honestly think that all people are equal. Like, I don't, like, seriously believe, like, one race is ever above another, really. God, if I would have said that on Black Men's Reign, I really would have been trash talked on there then. But I mean, this is all just like turn-ons and everything, and I just thought that people get off on the fact of thinking that black men are superior and everything. But you know, if we really are the superior race, like for example in Elder Scrolls Oblivion, the High Elves, they believe that they're the superior race of all the High Elves, of all the other elves, the Wood Elves and the Dark Elves, and they only breed with other high elves. So wouldn't it make sense that if black men really think that they're the superior race, that they breed with each other instead? I mean, even though we're both guys and we're not having children with each other, I mean, it's just one weird thing that my autism mind thought of. I know, it's strange. I mean, it all is strange, really, but whatever. But these are the messages that I got from Daddy AJ, the last messages I ever got from anyone on Black Men's Reign. With your late power bottom post, I'm afraid you need to leave BMR, Black Men's Reign. No black submissives are allowed here. I'm hoping you'll leave on your own. And then I typed in, I'm actually not a bottom at all. I can't take it up the ass. I made that post just in case there were other bottom guys here. Oh wait, I forgot to type just in case there were other black bottom guys here. I took it down though, and trust me, I'm definitely not submissive. This lockdown stuff has been getting to me, and I couldn't find anyone to talk to, so that's why I posted that. And then he types in, looks like you fucked up there then. How rude, jeesh. Because too many people saw it, and I've gotten too many complaints. I'm sorry, bud. And then I was just like, complaints from who? And then I typed in, and that's not fair. I was only posting that because I wanted to let the other black men know that I was open to them too. What's wrong with that? And then I also typed in, besides, as soon as I find a lover and partner, that's when I'll leave this site. I'm not bothering anyone. And then he was answering my question about complaints from who. He typed in, pissed off black members and disappointed white subs. And what does he mean by disappointed white subs? Like the submissive white guys were disappointed that I was typing on there that I wanted to be with a black power bottom instead, even though I've been posting on that site for a whole entire year that I was looking for a submissive lover the whole entire time, yet none of them ever messaged me at all. Why the hell would they be disappointed? That makes no sense, really. And then I typed in, actually, a few of the black members on this site who I was talking to on a Facebook group told me that they didn't have a problem with it at all. Oh yeah, because I was talking about that somewhere else. And a lot of the white subs here are really disrespectful anyway. Yeah, they absolutely are. The ones I came in contact with so far were too stuck up to talk to me, so it shouldn't matter what they think. This site is called Black Men's Reign anyway. Besides, us black men are beautiful. what's wrong with two black men being together? And then Daddy AJ basically just snapped on me, and then he said, the purpose to black men's reign is to allow an escape from the big-toed real world that kept the black men down, and dismisses us, shuns us, or ignores us. On black men's reign, we get to turn that around. Black men on top here and treated like kings. Oh hell, well I haven't been treated like a king. Your post comes off as begging for a white sub to accept you, and it's fucking gross here, bud. Okay, first of all, I was actually open to any color guy being with me. As I was explaining earlier, I was trying to impress a Latino guy to be with me, but he was just all talk, just like all the people on this site are. And also, I mean, this very thing that got Daddy AJ so angry, I was typing that I was open to a black power bottom to be with me, and he's like freaking out about this, like I was only looking for white guys on that site. I was open to being with any color guy. That's what I meant. The exact opposite of what Black Men's Reign is about. All black men on Black Men's Reign are tops, daddies, or masters only. Okay, so a black guy can't decide whether he wants to suck another black guy off or ride another black guy's cock? What's wrong with that? I mean, seriously. I will not have Black Man's Reign's reputation and my name called into question because of your stupid posts and your dumbass ideals. Yet you're kicking off the most famous member of your site and disrespecting the most famous member of your site. Okay, whatever. And then he typed in, I'm sorry, bud, but you gotta leave. And so then I was just trying to be nice and trying to be civil and everything, and I typed in, well, I took it down, and that post wasn't begging any white guys to accept me at all. That post was for other black guys here to talk to me instead. Well, yeah, because the submissive white guys and the other colored guys besides black were being rude to me and didn't want to talk to me at all, so I was just making it more clear that I'm open to being with black guys also. But then he kicked me off the site, and then he banned me, and I just thought that was really unfair, and I was upset about that, really. I was upset when he kicked me off, but not as upset as I was back when he kicked me off of the site in August of 2019, because I already had spent more time on there, and I already was starting to see what that site had for me and everything, in lack of better terms. And it was honestly probably for the best of it, because I was starting to focus on it way too much. But that was the end of my long adventure on Black Men's Reign. It didn't go so well. I was upset about all of it, and it was actually today that I was kicked off. All of this happened earlier this morning, the same day I had a high temperature, and the same day I found out that my temperature was 100.2. My luck was really bottoming out today, wasn't it? Gosh. No pun intended. I honestly don't know why Daddy AJ is so bitter. And you know, the thing about it is, I was looking through some of his pictures, and as much as I hate to admit this, I actually think he's kind of sexy, really. I mean, don't get me wrong, he is built like a Peds dispenser. When he sticks his head back, candy comes out. But also, at the same time, he's kind of like that extra scoop of ice cream that you get in a milkshake from McDonald's. Like, you didn't order it at all, but you eat it, you drink it, and you have it anyway, and you enjoy it anyway. That's kind of the vibe that I was getting from him. Like, don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm a total top, and I don't suck anyone's cock at all, doesn't matter what color they are, and I can't take it up the ass either. But if he would have messaged me and told me that he wanted to be my power bottom instead, I mean, but he didn't do that, and he most likely never will do that, so whatever. I mean, it was worth a shot, and I wasn't having any luck on that site. But another thing was, I remember the first time I was kicked off of that site back in August, and I hung out with this one other person I met, and I told them that I was upset because the owner of Black Man's Reign, Daddy AJ, kicked me off of the site. And the person I was hanging out with brought up a really good point. He told me that Daddy AJ probably doesn't have much control over his life in real life, and Black Man's Reign is like the only control that he has. And then I was thinking, that's probably true. That's why he's so rude to everyone. Probably stuff is going on in his life, and that's why he's always so bitter and always so rude to everyone, and he takes it out on everyone else. Not just the white guys, but apparently also the black guys too, including me. And it's really sad, because if he actually was a nice person and decided to be a nice person, I think he would do much better in life. He would have like a companion to like be happy for him and to like root for him and everything. And he wouldn't be so bitter and rude at all, because it's not fun being bitter and rude to people. I usually always try to be nice to everyone, and as you see in this episode of Joe Winko Talk, sometimes I kind of fail miserably at that, like wishing people dead from the coronavirus and everything, gosh. But that's what I always try to do. I always try to be nice to everyone and always try to be friendly with everyone. And a really sad thing is, I was actually on this site looking for a lover and a partner and someone to be with. But all I found were a bunch of enemies and antagonists instead. The exact opposite of what I was looking for. And that's really the most tragic thing, because I'm a black man, he's a black man. We're both ostracized, really, because black men, I usually don't like to talk about this in any of my episodes of Joe Winko Talk or any of my YouTube videos, but as you guys see, black people are treated unfairly. They're oppressed and they're treated unfairly. There's no doubt about that. There's a lot of white people that do treat us fairly. There's a lot of people that are nice to us and do respect us, but a lot of times we're oppressed and treated unfairly. Don't you think that's something that should bind us together instead, and that shouldn't break us up? Just like Daddy AJ said, like that the world is like against black guys and everything. So don't you think instead of being my enemy that he should actually be my ally instead, really? I would have been open to being his ally. He's always upset and mad about something. I never really talked to him at all that much, but I would have messaged him and said, are you okay? What's wrong? Why are you always angry? I would have tried talking to him or something. And I just didn't do that at all, because he was always mad and I didn't want him to kick me off the site again. But now he already has kicked me off the site, so might as well say it. And another thing on top of that, we're also both gay men too. Another party of people who are oppressed and who are discriminated against. Don't you think me and him should be true allies then? Being black and being gay at the same time? Trust me, that's definitely rough. The thing is, I never really got any hate from people who weren't gay. Don't get me wrong, from time to time I do get some homophobia thrown at me, but in all honesty, the worst treatment that I have gotten from people and hate mail I have gotten from people were from other gay people themselves, not any people who weren't gay. I get more hate from other gay guys on dating sites, the place where I'm trying to find love and acceptance on, but I just find the opposite of that. Judgmental people and stuck-up people and really rude and disrespectful people. And it's really tragic and it's really sad. That's the thing about all this. And it's sad because I just feel like that's another door that's closed on me. But I really wasn't having much luck there anyway. But you know how I always try to keep hope alive and everything. And sometimes I have a bit too much hope and stuff and everything. But I figured it was a interesting thing to talk about in my new episode of Joe Winko Talk. So, yeah. And deep down inside, I'm 110% sure that one day, hopefully soon, I will end up finding a nice lover and partner. Doesn't matter if they're submissive or a power bottom, just as long as they don't try to shove their cock in my mouth or up my ass at all, and just as long as they're okay with the fact that I don't want to do that. And we will be together, and we will have a happy life together. They'll be able to suck on my cock whenever they want to. I have to throw that in. And we will be happy together. And all this stuff that I've been through on Black Men's Reign, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me right now. I wanted to share it with you guys because it was all part of my life. But it truly will not matter then. No matter what color the guy I end up being with is, whether he's black, white, Native American, Asian, Arab. I feel like I'm missing one. Black, white, Native American. Yeah, okay, that's everything I can think of right now. Or Brazilian, or anything like that. So, yeah, I mean, seriously. But that's one thing I wanted to make clear. I love all men. Doesn't matter what color they are. Doesn't matter how old they are. Just as long as they're over 18. And just as long as you're not too young, obviously. And that's basically the thing, really. But yeah, that's it for this episode of Joe Winko Talk. Tomorrow I'm going to be tested for coronavirus. I mean, because as I explained earlier, my temperature was high. I still feel like I'm running a temperature. It's probably because, like, the air conditioning is probably down or something. And I'm hoping that comes back negative, and I'm hoping that I'm alright, and I'm hoping that I don't have coronavirus, and I'm really hoping that this whole pandemic thing ends. That's what I've really been worried about. And yeah, so that's basically it for this episode of Joe Winko Talk. I know it was a bit, like, raunchy and everything. It's been a while since I talked about stuff this personal in my episodes of Joe Winko Talk. But in all honesty, I have absolutely no shame in myself, because it's all part of my life, really. And I hope you guys at least found it interesting. I mean, what did you think of all of this? I mean, I know what you guys are probably going to say. I probably was taking all of this way too seriously. And I don't blame you. I definitely was taking it all too seriously. I just kind of think it's sad how this all went out, but I don't know. Maybe a nicer guy will stumble upon this video and decide, hey, I like that guy, the one in the red pointy bandana. I should talk to him. And then he'll get in touch with me. And hopefully I don't die of coronavirus at all. Jeez, because that would suck if I did. Then I would never find a lover and partner at all. But either way, the guys in heaven are nicer, so yeah. Gosh, leave it to me to think of that. So that's basically it for this episode of Joe Winko Talk. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I hope you guys are all staying safe out there and practicing your social distancing. I definitely am trying to practice my social distancing. And I hope you guys are all doing okay. I'm going to try doing some more live streams on YouTube, some more gaming live streams, and going to try to spend more time on YouTube, since I am not going to spend that much more time on Black Men's Reign at all. So that's basically it for this episode of Joe Winko Talk. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. So that's it. Peace out, people.